How to select the right WordPress theme. This isn't your typical how to select a WordPress theme tutorial. Instead of comparing and contrasting features, we're comparing and contrasting the expectations of a theme buyer and a theme seller. This article should serve as a guide for buyers to understand where they should invest their money and for sellers to ease the pain points of selling themes in a ruthless marketplace. I've been selling themes for a while now, dating back to 2007 when I sold Drupal themes for the real estate market. Slocum Themes launched in late 2009 after I started my WordPress development shop, Slocum Studio. Since then, we've been moderately successful with themes. The first year was abysmal, but as we progressed, created new themes, and became more known in the WordPress space, it's turned into a nice revenue stream for our overall business. And that's exactly how we currently look at our theme shop, as an add-on to our overall business. We're not living off of theme sales, but we're also not struggling to stay afloat just selling them. When it comes to marketing our themes, I take a very organic approach. Content marketing, podcasting, YouTube channel, free distribution via WordPress.org. This nestles in nicely with our overall mission of being a client services company and a product company. Current state of the theme business. Commoditized, cheap prices, too much competition, dominated by crapware. Selling a WordPress theme is akin to selling a new car. If you're a Chevy dealer, chances are there's another Chevy dealer within 20 to 40 miles of you. You both, for the most part, have the same inventory available. If not, you could certainly get whatever it is your customer is looking for. Because of this, new cars, in terms of profit, are always the slimmest. Everyone's got them, and everyone's looking to move them. Even different brands have identical looks and features. Does this sound familiar to you yet? For buyers, you've got plenty of choices, and that's great. It also means that prices should stay fairly low, and they are. If you complain about a $59 purchase for a website that powers your business, dive into what should be right up your alley, building websites, an all-in-one platform for dummies. This 747-page read is what you'll have to plow through to get a better understanding of what went into building a theme. That, and over a decade of learning and improving the craft. What is a theme? Before we go too far, let's define what a theme actually is. It's the presentational layer of your project's content, data, and media across many devices. Most commonly presented as a marketing or presentational brochure, and increasingly becoming a way to present and sell products. It's the pretty front end of your website. What about the concept of a theme, or the utility, as it were? For me, it's very much the essence of the 80-20 rule. Something that is going to accelerate a project 80% of the way with very little effort and at an affordable cost as it relates to the overall budget. A theme should be a fraction of your overall budget while you spend the rest on expanding it, consulting, and building out the website. That's the final 20% and the phase that's sorely overlooked. When adapting a theme to your needs, the last mile is always the most challenging, so don't expect it to go smoothly as the first 80% went. But this isn't new to you. This is life. Losing the last 15 pounds on a diet is always its hardest. Getting an A+ isn't as easy as a B-. Perfecting your credit score is nearly impossible. Back to the car analogy, you can't add a second set of doors to a two-door coupe. It just wasn't built that way. You also can't order a new color that doesn't come from the manufacturer. They've already determined the best available colors for that vehicle in that model year. A theme is a great starting point for your project's first iteration of an online presence. As your needs and audience change, you must reinvest and build something that meets your goals. A theme is either built as a generic use case or to serve a specific niche vertical. In either case, it doesn't deliver 100% on your needs across the board. Often, buyers get custom development and ready-made themes confused, and it's not the same. If you find yourself forcing a theme to do something other than what it naturally was inspired to do, find another theme. Remember, there are plenty. Otherwise, assess your goals and understand what hinges on getting the perfect WordPress website for your business. If the most basic requirement is to generate tens of thousands in revenue annually, go the custom route. Don't try and force a square peg into a round hole. How to choose a WordPress theme and provider. You shouldn't consider purchasing a theme without considering who you are purchasing from. If you travel in the same circles as I do, there's a tendency to blame sellers for pricing their themes too low. As to say, we're blaming other shops for the slim margins, which in turn makes it harder to survive on theme sales alone. Allegedly, this causes the market to shift to more inexpensive or even free themes. While I don't disagree with that statement, I won't blame a seller's price point, but I will blame their lack of quality and disregard of the long term for both the customer and their own product. Let's explore this. On theme prices. Cheap themes aren't necessarily bad for us. What does erode the market is when theme companies cannot or do not offer up long-term support for their customer. Because they don't have strong profits or large volumes of sales, they cannot afford to operate as a well-rounded business. Bottom line, they aren't making enough money. My opinion is the $59 to $129 theme is right where the market needs it to be. No more, no less, for just the theme. But where's the $1,000 theme? It's coming, as is our WordPress industrial revolution. If the REST API can get baked into core, and arguably even if it doesn't, we're going to see some more advanced themes for sale. Only when WordPress themes become more advanced, expanding on the presentational layer of content, data, and media, will we see the rise of theme prices as we know them now. I once turned a $59 theme sale into an $18,000 custom project. More on this. On-theme business models. Sellers who are not making the profits they once had hoped for need to take a look at their business model. For example, we offer a hassle-free theme setup install service at Slocum Themes. This sets expectation in a few ways. We don't do this for free in our standard support agreement. There's more to setting up the perfect WordPress website than just installing the theme. It's still not as easy to do for beginners. Oh, there's more to buy from you, which is my favorite. I read a lot of complaints from theme authors and shops that the support for their product is drowning them. The end user doesn't understand how to use WordPress, and they have ridiculous expectations from the seller. We experienced that too, and we dealt with them by expanding our offerings. You know how new car dealers make money on slim margins? They sell extended warranties, accessories, or they sell them a certified car that no other dealer has for a greater profit. Like a unique plugin, perhaps. Just like we offer a Conductor plugin for sale that no other theme shop or plugin provider can provide. Many theme authors hate to sell. They hate to upsell. They still, to this day, are plagued by the "if you build it, they will come" syndrome. So how did I upsell a $59 theme into an $18,000 custom project? It's easy. Let's just look at the tiered offerings that we have. For free, a customer can come along and download a WordPress theme from us, install it themselves, and set up their WordPress website, all without even asking us for any direct support or us providing any direct support. For $59, somebody could buy our Pro themes, receive updates for a year, and receive email-based support directly for the entire year. For $59 plus $100, they can purchase that theme and our setup service, which will get the theme up and running like the demo that we have on our site, with some basic pages and their logo uploaded. For $59 plus $997, we'll actually get them a business site up and running, including e-commerce or a membership site, get their initial pages set up, and include 1 hour of phone support, making some tweaks to their branding, colors, and stuff like that for the theme. So that puts them around just over $1,000 of investment. Our custom work at our agency starts at $10,000. When we can demonstrate that that work is 10 times the amount of work, if not more, than our $997 package from above, it starts to click for our customer. Of course, you have to back that up with a portfolio of accomplished projects, and then you've got yourself a winning strategy for upselling and moving a customer up channel into a better product. Not every customer is price conscious, but when dealt with the wrong information, they assume that $59 is the way to go, the way it should be. Mind the into a better product bit. If my $18,000 customer purchased the $59 theme, or even our $997 membership setup fee, it's the wrong product fit for them. It doesn't deliver on the needs or expectations that they have. Just because something is affordable doesn't make it the right choice for the customer. I don't select doctors based on price. As a theme seller, it's adapt or die. Unless you are trying to hit the unicorn status of a theme, something that still takes a stroke of luck to achieve on WordPress.org or even Avado, start with a solid, profitable business plan first. Build a good product and offer paid services around that product. Put yourself in a position to be sustainable for your customer and your business goals. Times are changing, and this holding pattern is going to take some out-of-the-box thinking until the next revolution hits. On the long-term support. All of this thinking boils down to the seller's vision of longevity for the business, for their product, and for their customer. I don't know about you, but I want to be around in 5 years to support customers who purchased a theme from me. I can't do that if I'm not thinking about the future for both the buyer and the seller. As I said earlier, this is where I lay the blame on sellers doing it wrong. There are theme shops that do not care to follow core WordPress coding practices that ultimately hurt the experience of using the beloved open source project, or worse, leave the customer vulnerable to attack. This molds both sides of the coin. Customers that feel burned from the purchase, or customers that now realize they got what they paid for. This usually leads to customers giving up on WordPress as a whole, while others realize that they have to spend more money and invest in a professional agency or consultant. The good news? I'm beginning to see more of the latter in my world. Organizations that went the cheap route are now realizing that they should have invested more from the get-go. Again, not entirely their fault, but the fault of the overall marketing message at large. An awesome WordPress theme that can do anything you want with 600 plus fonts for just $49. Get going in minutes. It's more likely that this statement leads to bloated code structure or a boatload of features that are stagnant, confusing, and unused by the end user. In the end, the overall experience would have been saved had they known a better product existed, even at a higher price point. Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle, technical debt. Or you can also read that as shit code. I'm not here to argue SaaS versus less. I'm talking code that is slow, interfaces that suck, and the duct tape that it's all held together with. The worst part is your average buyer doesn't realize it until it's too late. Until they get hacked, or they finally begin some web marketing work and notice that the site takes 17 seconds to load on just a single page. Then the vicious cycle begins. They request support, only to realize the author doesn't provide any or no longer exists. Check your plugins or your host, the seller says. The buyer is beside themselves. What looked as a way to start a company site for under $100 in a six-pack is now WordPress' fault. I thought this WordPress stuff was going to be easy. They take to jobs.wordpress.net, looking to take out their frustrations in a job post, only to offend anyone that's even remotely qualified to reply. I need an easy fix to my menu on mobile. Dear developer, I'm looking for someone to fix my mobile navigation on my company's website. It shouldn't take long. It's just not working and my logo is bleeding into it. Please respond with how much it would be to fix this. Yeah, right. When in fact the author should have never given you the ability to change the specific CSS or layouts from the theme. Even if they did, they should have browser tested to some degree to fully understand the downside of that option. I'm not saying we can solve for every instance, but the less control we give to a non-designer, the better. Provide solutions that won't lead someone to break the site, but continue to deliver on more broad-stroke customizations. Write code that can stand up to the test of WordPress backwards compatibility, and keep an eye on the roadmap. At Slocum Themes, we're always testing against nightly builds of WordPress. In the end, if you can't provide some form of paid valuable support service to maintain and support the user, it's not going to be pleasant for anyone. Finally, on selecting a WordPress theme. Everything, including free, comes at a cost. When recently replacing a busted exterior faucet on my home, I went to Home Depot and spent $50 on parts, only to realize I don't have a small torch to heat up and remove the old soldered pipe, only to realize further I can't find my hacksaw to cut the new PVC pipe. Maybe I should have just hired a professional to get it done for me. It probably would have cost me less. I ask that both parties, buyers and sellers, think this way. Theme buyers, please don't expect the world for $59. Expect that you'll get a well-coded WordPress theme that will continue to be supported for the life of your support license agreement. However, don't expect your theme vendor to log in, configure your website while troubleshooting the 18 plugins you already installed. Theme sellers, don't expect your customer to be fully knowledgeable on WordPress or how you set up your options panel. They don't do this for a living. Build a product that works well, isn't overly complicated, and solves a particular need. Go further and have some reasonably priced support plans in place for when the time comes, and please find new ways to stay profitable. The more profitable theme shops that stand the test of time, the better it is for all of us. A bonus for theme sellers. Selling themes is more turbulent than ever. From overwhelming GPL license debates and lawsuits to shops skyrocketing in revenue, leaving you to wonder, how will I compete? If you listen to the Twitter chatter, you'll see people mention doing things the WordPress way. Often, it's used as a snarky way to separate I know what I'm doing crowd from the newbies. First, ask yourself, do you want to be accepted into the community? Is this important to you, to your soul, and not just your business? It can be scary launching your first product. There will always be naysayers. Ignore them. There will always be people who don't like your designs. Ignore them. There will be people that say you charge too much. Ignore them. Do you want acceptance or results? I heard Michael Port say that on a podcast, and I fell in love with it. It rings true in the WordPress space. So many of us strive to do things the WordPress way, but what is that exactly? Who says we have to follow the rules? I don't mean break the law, but to challenge the status quo. I want results. This has been an episode of The Matt Report. If you enjoy this type of material, these types of lessons, head on over to mattreport.com/subscribe, join the mailing list. I also have a new product coming out. It's called Julep. It's a great way to make images a little bit more fun for your WordPress website. You can check that out. GetJulep, JULEP.com. I'm trying to grow an email list there, so I'd love for you to join the beta list. So when that comes out, you'll be the first to know. I'm waiting to get 100 folks on that list, and the beta will then be released, so go ahead and check that out. If you also do enjoy this, I would love a 5-star review in iTunes. It certainly helps, as I'm sure you've heard on many other podcasts. It just helps us get found a little bit more. Go into iTunes, search for Matt Report, and go ahead and leave me a 5-star review. You don't even have to type anything in. You can just click the stars, and I would really appreciate that. Till next time, everybody, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show.